So, is life itself a problem or is it a mystery? Because I think, human beings are problem solvers. We all love to solve problems because it gives us that feeling of accomplishment. Like we're getting work done, we're accomplishing something, we're making progress, all these metaphors. But really, when we think of life itself, to some extent, life is a problem because we feel like we're missing some essential understanding of it, and we're kind of lost and unsure and guilty, and we don't fully understand what we're doing. So we think, wow, there must be some problem here. But I think what makes a lot of people wake up or realize that they're broken, or just begin down a path, or anybody that has a realization of any kind, it has something to do with coming to understand that life is a problem that can't be solved. At least not as we solve other problems, math problems and conceptual problems, logical problems. You can't look at life that way. You can try, but it always ends in confusion and defeat because you can't understand life like you can play dominoes. Each decision doesn't follow immediately from, your sensory experience. Sometimes you have to make decisions based on feelings alone. And that's that's a problem if you don't have any, you know, faith. But that's a dirty word these days. If you don't, if you don't think it's all going to be okay in the end, then life is quite the conundrum. Because you're definitely going to die, and if that's all there is to you, then that's pretty shitty. You better make the best of your life, But even so, it's all fatuous. It's all in pursuit of nothing because you're gonna die and none of it matters. So it's a pretty sad place to be in. That's a sad view of life, tragic view. We talked about wanting to be an actor, and I've always had a certain respect for actors and musicians because I think they're very similar in the way that they have to put on a voice or put on a show or sort of enact this very human expression, and they both create moments for others by being something. And being somebody is really hard today because we have such freedom to choose who we are and what we think and who we associate with. We're so aware and conscious of ourselves that we can't do anything without second guessing what we did, or without feeling guilty about maybe not having made the best decision. Or so we're all method actors in a way. We're trying to really be in these situations that we find ourselves in. But I think the reason we're not so good at it sometimes, or that we feel confused, or we can't even convince ourselves that we are who we think we are, it's because we're coming to this point where we're so aware that we can no longer maintain the illusion that we're just our egos, that we're just the person, we're just a legal identity that is born and dies, and that's all there is to it. I think that's becoming less and less likely in the minds of a lot of people, and some of them haven't realized that yet. They're still fighting to solve this problem of life, and to define themselves, to get what they want somehow. But that's always a problem because the ego is nothing but The ego is a wish. We all wish we were an ego with a defined identity that was stable and that was truly separate from all the influences around it. But none of us ever get that. We're all confused, and we all need each other. We're all so reliant upon one another for self-esteem, but it's not just self-esteem, it's self-understanding, and just self-support. Life in general requires a community of others. There's not just you, and you never were separate from the rest of us.